Hi little skeletons, it's Disney Queen Skelly here, and we are going to cook. I have all my ingredients here except for three. I'll be right back. Alright guys, before we get started, I actually just wanted to show you guys this. My aunt, for my engagement party, or at least mine and hubby's engagement party, she got us this subscription, or at least she got me this subscription to something called Miss to Mrs. It's like this loot box thing, and I just got my first box today, and inside it were some t-shirts and some really cool pens. I have a planner. Basically, it's everything I need to get ready to become a bride, to become basically like making this whole process easier. And with it came this cute tumbler that says I said yes, and I'm currently drinking hot chocolate out of it. And yes, I washed it beforehand. So to start with, I am making steak with a buttery steakhouse rub. This is the first time I've ever seen it, actually. I'm also making roasted garlic mashed potatoes, yes, out of a bag, and I'm also doing gravy out of a bag, because that's just how we do things here. And then for veggies, we're having this mix of broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots. And then of course, I gotta season it with salt. For some toppings for the steak, we're doing caramelized onions, and then I'm gonna grate some garlic for that just so it can have a nice flavor. So first things first, I gotta get the pots and pans out that I need to get this started. I think what I might do is put the steak in the smallest one, because it's actually a pretty small steak. It's only enough for two. And do that in the smallest one. I can do the onions in the big one and then the veggies in that one. Okay, that works out. So first things first, I'm actually gonna do the garlic, and I hate when people tie the bag like this. I prefer the little ties that we have in here. These things, I saved them for a reason. Oof, that is failing. I'm making it tighter. Okay, let's grab some scissors. I'm gonna cut it from here, and then I'll just twist it later, because there's still enough bag to twist it. So some people like dice them or mince them. We have this. We got it at the OC fair, my family and I. You basically take a garlic clove and you just grate it on here, and it makes it mush, which I prefer because I hate garlic chunks. And then this is the brush you use to brush it with. So since we're doing half an onion, I'm gonna do 2 cloves of garlic. So I think this is one giant ass clove. And then we have another right here. Perfect. I didn't even need to cut anything. Twist tie this shit, because that makes life a hell of a lot easier. Okay, so I still have to get myself a cutting board because I need to cut the onions and not only that, but I need to de-shell the garlic. So I got my cute little knife here. Actually, for my engagement, my dad, oh, there's 2 cloves in here. I thought there was only 1. Well, we're gonna do 3 cloves then. My dad actually ended up giving me my own kitchen knife set, which I'm stupid excited about, because that means I can take my own set when we move. And I already have a set of plates that my parents saved for us. They ended up getting new plates, and the old ones were just not working out for us, but they ended up getting the good one, like the ones that didn't collapse and break on us. We're taking them to our new apartment whenever hubby and I decide, or should I say have enough money to move. All of that off. There we go. Smooth clove of garlic. I'm just gonna do 1 more, because that second one's actually, holy shit. I didn't know if you guys could see that, but shit went flying. Also, I'm not a professional chef. I'm not in any sense of the words professional chef. I just like cooking. And my food hasn't killed anybody, so I think that's a plus. Okay, so I'm gonna throw away all of this shit on here, so that way I have room for the onion. Now, me personally, I love to keep my trash can lid open, because if I need to throw anything away, I can just easily go to it instead of having to hover my hand over it to have it open. And now, what we're gonna do is grate these little 3 things of garlic and grate them on here at the center. Or you can do it around the edges, but I like to do it in the center. And the best part is, it does not cut you, so even if your fingers get close to the spikes, it will not harm you. But if you have open wounds, it stings a little. It's kind of like when you cut into a lemon. See, this is when you get down to the nub, it's kind of hard to grate. And now for the final one. I should make something to grip onto the garlic. I personally use my nails to dig into them, to get a grip on them. So the smell of garlic is going to linger on my fingers for like a while. but I don't mind it personally. I love the smell of garlic. Yeah, even though I wash my hands, it's still there. It's gonna be there for a while. So I'm gonna place this dish off to the side. Okay, so now that I got the garlic done, we're gonna chop up, there's already a half onion in here, so I'm just gonna use that. And yes, I'm gonna use the whole half of the onion, because I love caramelized onions. And if it were up to me, I could probably dice a whole onion on my own and just caramelize it all and eat it all on my own. Okay, so this thing, again, I am not a professional, so please do not judge me for how I work with food. I'm gonna cut off both the ends of the onion, and I am probably gonna start crying because I don't chop onions regularly. A bit of that nub left over here. Okay, and there's, very good, nub is gone. I should probably get a bigger knife for this. I think we're done with this knife. Checking, yeah, we are done with this. Okay, that went a lot smoother than I thought. So now we're just gonna get rid of these ends. Ooh, I feel the sting coming on, and thank God I am finished. Because me and my acne-ridden face, I have a really bad habit of touching it. Okay, so we're gonna start cooking the onions first because that's what's gonna take the absolute longest. Now, I learned the garlic onion trick. Well, I wouldn't say trick, but I learned the tastiness of it from my grandma, my mom's mom, because back when hubby and I stayed with her, I think last year during the pandemic, she actually made this for us. She made caramelized onions for us with a meal, and she added the jar. There's like a jar of minced garlic you can buy, but I prefer doing this on my own. And she kind of mixed it all together. It tasted so good. I'm just gonna have to resist eating all the onions before hubby gets home. So let's get a butter knife to cut that with. Okay, so let's start with the, oh, you know what? I also need to fill the teapot with water. Okay, so I'm actually filling this up with a lot of water because this is what's going to help me heat up the mashed potatoes and the gravy. But I won't do that till the very end when we're ready to pretty much plate, because it does not take long for that shit to heat up. So let's get the onions going first. So I'm just gonna, oh boy, I'm gonna turn the camera real quick so you guys can see what I'm doing over on the stove. So we're gonna move this. Okay, you guys won't be able to see the entirety of the stove, but you can at least see a little bit of it. So I'm gonna take some butter and coat the bottom of that pan. And yes, they are 100%, like 90% dry. And I know it's not exactly healthy to coat the bottom of the pan with butter, but it's just what I like to do. Let me see if I can actually turn my camera. Perfect. Still blocked by the knives, but you know what? Whatever. And I'm gonna be like halfway cut off through this entire video. Let me see if I can lift it up a bit. It's gonna have to work either way. So I'm gonna let that melt real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna put the onions on first. Actually, first I'm gonna spread this shit out. So we're gonna grab spatula. Gotta make sure they're all separated. That'll be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that for the onions, and I'm also gonna use that for the veggies as well. So this is gonna go in the dishwasher, since I will not be needing that anymore. And then let me just spread these out, and then I'll get the garlic on here. Don't want the heat too high to start with, because I don't want these to burn. Now with caramelized onions, I keep the butter out, because occasionally these onions will absorb a lot of that butter, and then they won't caramelize, they'll just burn. So got all of that spread out. And now we're going to add the garlic. So you just kind of want to brush it in. And then we're just gonna mix, oh shit, where the onions flew. So now we're just gonna mix up the garlic in with the onions so that it gets a really good flavor. You gotta wanna make sure the garlic doesn't just stay in one place like it's trying to do right now. You wanna really spread it out amongst the onion. That way all the onion slices get a really good flavor. Oh, it already smells so good. Again, so long as it's not in chunks. If it's like pasty and then like cooked into something, oh, it is so good. I love garlic. Okay, so now that that's all mixed, we're gonna leave that there to do its thing. Because like I said, onions take the most amount of time to cook. I have it to medium-ish heat. Okay, so next what we're gonna do is we're actually going to coat the steak in the seasoning. So I'm gonna turn my laptop back around. Who knew you could actually do that with a camera? Again, my head's cut off still. Let me just kind of lift my... Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I gotta cut this open. Basically, there's two, I think the term is fillets. I don't know. There's two things of steak in here. So one for me, one for hubby. I'm gonna take off my quota. No, I am not taking off my engagement ring. That thing never comes off. Okay, then I gotta toss this because yay, blood. So I washed my hands because I'm gonna be touching a container and I don't want to get that covered in salmonella. So let's turn this around because I don't know if you guys could even hear me. There we go. Now you guys can hear me. So like I said, I am doing a Kinder's Premium Quality Rub Buttery Steakhouse. This again smells super good. Okay, so I'm gonna move the scissors out of the way. So we're gonna do the top of the first one, second one, and then I'm gonna only do it with my left hand. We're gonna spread that out, get it nice and coated, and then I'm gonna turn it over, again just with my left. And with my right that hasn't touched the steak, I'm gonna put the dry rub on the other side of each steak, rub it in, and then what I'm gonna do is wash my hands again. So I got that rub done, and I'm gonna now put the seasoning away because as I cook, I like to put things away. And I'm also gonna roll up my sleeves while doing this because they are getting wet. We're gonna take care of the onions real quick because they have been sizzling in one spot for a while. All right, now I'm gonna grab the steak and I'm gonna put it on the little pan in the back. So we're gonna turn that on to just past medium heat. Then we're gonna take our butter, and I'm gonna grab some tongs because we're gonna need tongs. These are the ones I washed. All right, so I'm just gonna quickly spread out this butter. Hopefully the steak will fit. Now, yes, I know steak doesn't take much time to cook, and I know you need to let it rest. I love cooking steak. I just know I don't ever cook it properly. But again, it's cooked, and I don't kill anybody while doing it. So let's grab the steaks. I'm gonna take this with me so I don't drip blood everywhere. And steak 2. Oh, they fit, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna stick this in the sink, wash my hands again because I touched raw, and then I'm gonna get a paper towel to place this on, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm gonna place the tongs on some paper towel so it doesn't get raw juices on anything. And last but not least, I am going to put the vegetables on a pan because they're frozen and need to cook as well. So I'm gonna again put the fire to about a little below medium heat so they don't burn. Get some butter and then coat the bottom of the pan. Now again, I'm using the same spatula that I'm gonna use for the onions because in my opinion it doesn't really matter when it comes to vegetables, but oh my god, it is smelling so good. I think after I deal with the veggies, I'm gonna put another thing of butter in here. And now that we've done that, I'm putting the spatula next to the tongs so it doesn't get juices on there. These are some weird ass scissors. Where? Oh, there's the small scissors. Oh, these are normal scissors. Okay, we're gonna cut this bag open, snippy snippy, and then dump that shit. The knives back, or the scissors back. Oh, stupid tenderizer. Or as Mom likes to call it, the fun hammer. So we're gonna take some salt, sprinkle it over the veggies. So now I'm gonna mix up the veggies so the salt spreads and it's kind of not all in one area. Now me personally, I know you can put those bags in the microwave and steam them. I personally prefer sauteed veggies. They just taste better to me. I'm gonna mix up the onions a bit more because I want them to brown. I don't want them to burn. You want them to brown, you don't want them to burn. And now I'm gonna flip the steak because it's been searing on one side for a while. Okay, that needs to sear only for a couple more minutes. So I'm gonna cut up some more butter and place it in with the caramelized onions. That in. I'm sure you guys can hear the sizzling. So the one thing we're gonna be waiting on the most, other than the onions, are the veggies because they need to de-thaw as they cook. So let's kind of keep this going. Make sure the butter is all melted. So next year, guys, fun fact, I am going vegetarian, which means I'm going to be eating a lot of tofu. But that's okay, because I like tofu. Now, could I ever go vegan? No, I like cheese. And I like to have the occasional egg in the morning. A bit more. So now that that's all going, I'm going to stick some water in, oh, I already stuck the water in this teacup. Okay, so I'm going to set the teapot on a high fire so that way the water heats up real quick. Now while it's doing that, I am going to place the brown gravy and the mashed potatoes in 2 silver bowls. So that way when the water is done heating up, which I do apologize if you hate like teapot hissing sounds, I'll try to stop it as soon as I hear it. And I'm gonna mix these two up. So I'll be right back. All right, so I'm gonna use this one for the mashed potatoes and this one for the gravy. We're just gonna get these opened for now while we're waiting. Everything smells so good. Pear notch for easy opening. My ass. Scissors! And then we're just gonna put that in. Aw, damn it, I should have left the cutting board because I need to cut the steak. Oh well, that's okay. You live and you learn. So I'm gonna leave these off to the side. I'm gonna get another cutting board. It's okay because we can just put that in the dishwasher too. So everything is actually looking really good. I hate that you guys can't see me too much in this video, I'm sorry. I'm gonna flip this one over for a little bit longer. I still see some pink in there, a little bit more pink than I'd like. This one's actually looking pretty good. I may take that off the fire in a bit. Check on your onions. You always need to check on your onions. And they are looking a beautiful brown color. Nice light tan right now. The caramelized color should be coming fairly soon with this. Now hopefully the fire behind them won't cause it to burn. And we'll just mix up the veggies. I kind of like doing the veggies with the onions because when I mix them with the same spatula, it adds a lot of flavor to it. Steak should be nearing done because I see a lot of pink. Well, not a lot of pink, but I see some pink on the ends. I'm going to sear that real quick. I'm going to turn off the heat to the back burner. And then I'm going to let steak rest for a little bit while we are dealing with the veggies. And then we'll see what kind of temperature we're at. Who knows, maybe they won't be super freaking rare. So while I'm cooking my dinner, I just want to know, what are you guys having for dinner today? By the time you're watching this. I don't know basically what I'm having when I'm watching this or when it uploads, but I love making my steak and potatoes and veggies and caramelized onions. It is super delicious to make, and I forgot about my hot chocolate. The usual way that I make hot chocolate is I put milk and creamer in it because it tastes really good like that. But we didn't have any creamer, so I did double milk. It's a really good insulator too. I could probably eat dinner as is and then it'll still be fine. Okay, so what I usually like to do once my steak is resting is I'll take the juices from the steak and I'll put it with the onions. And it gives the onions a really nice flavor. I do this every time, and both my dad and hubby love the way that it tastes. And my mom, she doesn't really eat onions. She doesn't like onions, but the three of us absolutely love the way that it comes out. So the onions look almost done being caramelized, which is great. Probably by the time I get the mashed potatoes and the gravy dealt with, we'll be fine here. In the beginning, when I used to make caramelized onions, they'd sometimes come out a little burnt, and that would be on total accident. I was learning at the time, and I'm still learning to this day, and I dropped a carrot. And I'm still learning to this day, so it's not like, you know, I'm perfect when it comes to cooking. I can just keep people alive, which is, I guess, what you need to do, right? Once that teapot whistles, I'm going to crank up the heat for the onions and the veggies so they can cook a little bit quicker. And then while they're doing that, I'm going to mix up the mashed potatoes and the gravy. And in order to keep them warm, I'm going to place some aluminum foil on top of the bowls. So we'll keep that out for now. So currently my time, it's 5:49. I gotta see if hubby went back to work or not. I think my aunt said with those Miss to Mrs. boxes, I think I'm getting 4 of them, if I remember correctly. Because not only does it give you like stuff like a loot box, it's also supposed to help you with like what you're supposed to do in terms of like changing your last names legally, like a bunch of like information that a lot of people who get married sometimes don't know about nowadays, which let me tell you is extremely helpful. Because when Harley Baby told me I'd have to go to like a bunch of places to get my last name changed, I'm like, huh? Now in my family, traditionally how we make a dinner is we'll do a protein, a starch or a carb, and then vegetables, which works out well for the 3 of us, or the 4 of us. It's me, my mom, my dad, and hubby. Onions are caramelizing nicely. The teapot hasn't yet whistled, so I think we're gonna wait a little bit on that. In the meantime, I'm gonna cut open the steak. Let's see how it's done. Okay, so I'm gonna use a fork to help me like hold these down while they're cooking. or while I chop them open. And we're using the biggin knife, my favorite knife. Chop this, see how we're doing. Ooh, that's a nice medium rare. Oh wow, that looks really good. Guys, this thing looks juicy. Let me tell you, my meat lately that I've been cooking has been so juicy lately. Oh my god, I am shocked. Okay, so that's steak number 1 here. I'll show you guys kind of like the middle of it. Actually, let me show you one of the bigger pieces. You can see the pink a bit more. See, if you look, that pink, oh my god. Now we're gonna give it a little taste test because I gotta see if this turned out well. I slightly hear that teapot starting to whistle, but it's not whistling just yet. So we're cutting open steak number 2. This one looks to be about medium rare as well. And it tastes so buttery and delicious. Oh my god, guys, the pink in the middle of this one too. Look at that. Look at how delicious that looks. All right, 10 out of 12 steak. Looks amazing. I'm gonna try to cut the bigger pieces in half real quick. We unfortunately can't give my dog any type of human food because he's got pancreatitis. So we're gonna come back over to the stove and check on our veggies. So the onions look done. I'm just gonna keep them on a low heat for a little bit. That way they stay this nice caramelly brown. Maybe I might let them cook a little bit longer because some of it still looks a little bit on the whiter side. And we're just gonna mix up the veggies. So now they're getting a nice brown to them on the bottom, which is personally the way I like my veggies. All right, so all this is looking great. And I think while I'm waiting on that, I think it's about time I feed my dog. So let's move everything off to the side here so so nothing gets doggy food in it. And I guess you guys can watch me feed my dog. Dry food, and then the disgusting wet food. This shit smells nasty. And Mom says 2 big heaping spoonfuls of this crap. All right, so you ready? So it's half a cup of dry, which you are running out of. Oh god. You can probably just feed you wet for a couple of days and let Mom know. I'm gonna like stand 7 feet away from this thing because oh, this shit is so disgusting. Okay, Toby, all yours. Into the dishwasher that goes. And then try to close this up without gagging. I don't know how dogs find that delicious. Then again, some eat poo and find it delicious. Oh, I gotta wash my hand. Oh, I got dog food on it. Ew, ew. He's been really picky with his food lately, so I'm glad to see him eating. Veggies still look like they're doing really, really well. Just again, waiting for that teapot to whistle. Gonna mix up the onions again. Oh, wow, these look so beautiful, guys. Oh, shit, I'm not even on frame. Sorry about that. These onions look beautiful, guys. Oop, I hear the teapot. It's gonna whistle very soon. Then again, I said that last time and it didn't whistle. Okay, these are getting pretty sauteed. So I think what I'm gonna do is turn the heat to low. So that way they can stay warm, but they don't cook anymore. Okay, so let's leave that on low. Yeah, that teapot's gonna blow any minute. Yeah, I can hear it. It's gonna start to whistle soon. So while I'm waiting for it to whistle, I'm gonna start plating my steak. So I'm gonna get some of the smaller pieces. Oh, you know what? I don't even need this anymore. I'm gonna start getting some of the smaller pieces for myself. Leave some of the bigger ones for hubby. And then maybe one more piece. Got a couple of good pieces there. Those will all be for hubby. I'm gonna make him a plate as soon as, actually I'm gonna start making him a plate now because I want everything to be ready for him when he comes home tonight. Because I'm not picking him up from work because he gets off really, really late. And I might be asleep by then. And then what I'll most likely do is put this in saran wrap. Or not saran wrap, I'll put it in, put some tin foil over it and stick it in the fridge for him. So that way when he comes home, he could just heat it all up. Okay, so the teapot officially started steaming, or screaming, I should say. So I'm gonna keep this facing here. Okay, so the caramelized onions are gonna go on low now. So this is my least favorite part. Okay, I'm gonna leave this off to the side because if I need more water, I can go grab some. But I'm gonna grab a couple of forks and start mixing these. Or actually, I should probably use spoons. Okay, so we're gonna mix up the mashed potatoes, which I can already tell these are gonna need more water. Yeah. Okay, let's get some more water for the mashed potatoes. There we go. Now we got a nice whipped consistency. Mashed potatoes are done. Now let's mix up the gravy. Just make sure there's no chunks in here. Worst case, if there's chunks, I'll just strain it out. There shouldn't be, given how hot this water is. Okay, looks like I'm probably gonna have to strain this. So, I'm gonna get a bowl, and then I'm gonna get my trusty strainer. Okay, so let's do this with one hand. Use this to sift it, make sure we got all the juices in there. Okay, now I'm gonna toss the remaining sludge that is in here. Okay, now we're gonna grab a new spoon because we don't want to put trash spoon in bowl. Turn the fire off. Oops. Okay, now I'm gonna toss this because we don't need this anymore. Now I'll plate myself first. So let's go over to the onions because that's what we're gonna want to plate first since we're gonna put that on top of the steak. I'm gonna separate this into 2 equal piles. So that way hubby and I both get equal amounts of caramelized onion. And then we'll just stick that on top of the steak. I'll be honest, I'm just gonna use up all the onions. That's what they're supposed to be for me. Hubby's onions on his plate, so I gotta go grab that real quick. Delish. This actually looks super good. These last pesky few onions, I just don't wanna work with you. Okay, now we're gonna do the veggies on both plates. There's a lot of them in here, so I'm just gonna, I love vegetables personally. Okay, now we're gonna plate hubby's veggies. So I won't plate all of them, but I'm gonna plate a good amount of them since I plated a good amount on mine. And I know when he gets home from work, he is going to be hungry. So I think that's good, right? Yeah, I plated the same amount. So we got a good amount of veggies left over. Maybe I could divide that amongst both plates. Trying to get them all. It's like the onions, they don't want to just cooperate. So now that we got all that, we're gonna go to plating the mashed potatoes and gravy. So I'm gonna stick this in the, so we get a good mountain of them on both plates. Worst case, we don't finish them, it's leftovers. Yeah, I should probably just, I'm dividing everything. I'm just not caring about portion sizes at this point. I know my husband can eat a lot. And according to my husband, it's not presentation, it's how it's taste. But then again, your eyes eat first before your stomach, so. All right, and last but not least, we're gonna put a bit of gravy. Now, I personally love a generous amount of gravy. If you don't have mashed taters with your gravy, or gravy with your mashed potatoes, it don't taste right. God, it's supposed to be so much thicker than this, but I always suck at making the gravy that sets in the packages. It never turns out how I want it to. You know what, tastes good, all the same. So then all this is gonna go in the dishwasher. Close it up. And I think that's everything I need to put away other than the wrap, the gravy, and then I'll have my hot chocolate after dinner. Probably gonna get myself some water. Anyway, so the last thing we obviously need to do is taste our creation. So let's see how good this turned out. So let's try the mashed potatoes first. Oh wow, okay, that's really good. Even with the watery gravy. The vegetables, we're gonna do a carrot, cauliflower, and broccoli. I always love my vegetables. They turn out so good. And then finally, we're gonna do some onions and steak. I could not have made this any better. Could have been a little less chewy, because it's taken some effort, but other than that, this dinner is amazing. I'm probably gonna bring out the gravy just because, again, with how thin it is, the mashed potatoes didn't really soak it that well. It's still good either way. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys ended up making this as well, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you want to show me how well you did, please send a picture to my Instagram. It is in the description box below. And I will post any pictures I get on my Instagram. Can't wait to see how all of your steak and onions, mashed potatoes, and veggies turned out. I love you all so much, and I will see you next time. Bye, little skeletons. Stay safe, and I love you guys.